Hi, and welcome to Mentoring Nature Connections, using picture books to support our outdoor learning journey. Today, we're going to read Finding Wild by Megan Wagner Lloyd with pictures by Abigail Halpin. We will begin by exploring some cross-curricular prompts that we could use with this story for outdoor investigations. We could begin by asking, where can we find wild? And letting students explore the school grounds with their nature journal to record their observations and findings. We might provide students with magnifying glasses so they can practice the scientific skill of looking closely and ask them how that changes their perspective of what they are seeing. The book also lends itself to a wide variety of scavenger hunt ideas, maybe finding examples of wild and finding non-examples of wild, or finding examples of flowers and non-examples of flowers. We could also introduce how to use field guides to help us notice and name the local plants and animals and identify their characteristics. Using the social skills processes, such as gathering and analyzing data, we could encourage students to look for examples of human versus natural structures and identify community patterns based off their observations. Perhaps another day we will use this book as a mathematical prompt by identifying patterns in the book. There's many examples of leaves with an opposite growth pattern, where two stems are growing out of one node. What other patterns can we find on the school grounds that are similar or different? If we have intermediate students, we may encourage students to use the changing colors in the autumn leaves to explore the concept of fractions. We could also use this book for a variety of literacy activities. The author uses many creative and descriptive words throughout the story. We can invite students to look for something wild on the school grounds and create a list of descriptive and juicy words. There's also a lot of examples of metaphor in the story that we can encourage students to investigate. One example was that wild is as smooth as the petals of poppies. How else can we use metaphor to describe what we see in nature? Lastly, we could create a found poem by pulling out all our favorite words used in the book. We might also encourage students to create an illustration to go with their poem. The cross-curricular connections with this book are endless, so have fun exploring wild in as many ways as you and your students can think of. And with that, here's the story. Finding wild. What is wild, and where can you find it? Wild is tiny and fragile and sweet baby new. It pushes through cracks and crannies and steals back forgotten places. Sometimes wild is so tricky you have to squint to see it, and then there are times you can't possibly miss it. Wild creeps and crawls and slithers. It leaps and pounces and shows its teeth. Wild is full of smells: fresh mint, ancient cave, sun-baked desert, sharp pine, salt sea, every scent begging you to drink it in. Wild is forest fire hot and icicle cold. It's as smooth as the petals of poppies and as rough as the fierce face of a mountain. Watch out, wild can hurt, itch, burn, ouch, sting. But wild can also soothe: gentle breeze, cheering sun, soft rain. Wild keeps many secrets waiting to be discovered, like its candy: honey from bees and sap from trees, swift melting snowflakes, and juice bursting blackberries. Wild roars and barks and hisses and brays. It storm thunders and wind whispers. Wild sings. Sometimes wild is buried too deep, and it seems like the whole world is clean and paved, ordered and tidy. You look and look, and all you can see are streets and cars and buildings so high they hide the sky. And then, just when you are about to give up, there There it is again. Old and worn and still standing strong. Wild.